he had caught, and I told him, I said, well, on the website there were 2 pictures of 2 fish, and supposedly they had caught them at that spot. Usually when you're on a website, they're checking fishing spots, they'll show you fish that somebody previously have caught there, so you know that somebody's caught fish, and these are the kinds or types of species of fish they caught. So there was one carp, a picture of one carp, and there was one picture of a buffalo. And then when I seen it, I'm thinking to myself, I could go down to Carp City and catch this, but just for the sake, this is Lake Lewisville, at least a portion of it, and so I want to fish and see if I can get some catfish or something like that. And so anyway, I'm gonna try to keep this short as possible, but it just kind of him. Then I'm fishing here. I got shrimp, I got earthworms, I got dough baked bread. Then the gentleman came over next to me. He's got minnows. I seen his. He's got minnows. And then the other gentleman down the end, I don't know what he's got, what he's fishing with. But we got all this bait in this water in this area here, and nobody's caught a fish this whole time that we're down there. I think I got pecked once, and I'm not sure if it was a fish biting it or just something passing by and brushing it. But anyway, that's what I didn't see any turtles or anything while we were out there this section. I didn't see any of that. But nobody caught a fish that whole time when I was there, and then I left, So if there are fish in that water right there, in that spot, and all this bait is out there, it is the reason that they're going to eat something, or bite on something, or pull somebody, do something. Somebody's going to be getting some kind of activity. But not. So I came to the conclusion today when I was sitting there that this is a waste of time for me to be sitting here like this. I've been sitting here 3, 4, 5 hours watching my lines. Nothing's biting. Matter of fact, on a couple of occasions, actually one line I thought I got bitten biting. I said, well, maybe let me check and see if something's still on here. So I pulled it in, and both pieces of my shrimp are still on that one, so I tossed it back out. Anyway, long story short, I decided to get up and go ahead and leave. And I won't be going back there. The only way I will go back there is I have a fish finder, and it's telling me there are fish there. Otherwise, I would not be going back there. So, anyway, when you're fishing from the bank in the lake, Lewisville is a large lake, and it kind of expands and spreads all around. It goes from over here to Little Elm, Frisco, all the way back around by Carlin, 35, and all the way back up there, even up through by going toward like Denton. So it's a big, massive lake. And so if you're fishing from the bank, there's only certain bank places that you can access and fish from on Lake Lewisville. Most of Lake Lewisville, to my knowledge of what I've seen, is either backed up to housing additions, homes and stuff like that. Then you got certain areas or parks that you have to pay to go into. A couple of parks over on like over by Corinth and Lake Dallas over there, I actually paid $10 to go in to no avail because I'm throwing my line out. I'm basically guessing. Your best estimation is guesstimation. If you don't have a fish finder or you don't have a boat on a lake like that where you can access different spots or different places, coverings or openings of places like that you can get to, because on the bank you can't. And so your best guess is what you're doing. There are some people, I'm sure, that have been fishing since they came out of their mother's womb, and they can look and find spaces like that. But that's not the average fisherman. The average fisherman, our best is guesstimation. We'll see a brush pile, something like, well, there's probably some crappie by the brush pile fishing. The chances are there are, but not in all cases. And then my deal is, if I'm going to fish from the bank, and I fish a body of water like Lake Lewisville, I've been on Lake Lewisville in different areas, like I said, different places, and fished Lake Lewisville. I haven't had a lot of great success at Lake Lewisville, fishing those spots, and then paying to go in. I even went out on that barge thing one time. I paid to go out on that. That's been a few years ago, though. I didn't get any kind of activity or catch anything, on the inside or the outside, it wasn't winter or nothing. So understandably, when it's cold, freezing water, and when it's really hot, 100-degree weather and stuff like that, the fish are going to gravitate or migrate or move. So that's understandable. But today is wonderful temperature. It's perfect. Perfect temperature, perfect breeze, everything's perfect. Wind's a little high. Wind, I think, was like 17 miles an hour, which was I mean, for somebody like me, I do tight line fishing, so I use sensitive rods with sensitive tips on them, so I can read the tip of my rod and the line to fish. So a lot of times I snag fish. I don't really care that much for circle hooks. I'll use them if I've got some cut bait or something. I'm trying to catch some catfish or something. I'll use them, but I don't really care that much for circle hooks. I actually straight shank hooks because I'm an old school man. I snag you, keep messing around, and so that's kind of so I fish with those with tight line with those kind of rods and lines and stuff, and so I'm looking for telltale signs of the fish messing with my stuff and his patterns and stuff, so I can snag him. So, but when the wind is high like it is today, it's hard for me to fish. I have to wait on a takedown or the fish to just really get it for me to, because when the wind's blowing, man, it's rattling my bells, it's moving the tip of my rod. It moves the line sometimes depending on what type of line you have. Like one of my poles has like a 30-pound test line on it. It moves that, and then the smaller, lighter line, it sometimes doesn't move as much, but it's just a feeling thing. And so to me, places like Carp City, and I eventually named it that. I don't know what the name of the body of water is at Hebron and Railroad Street. I just call it Carp City. Places like that, Railroad Park, those places. I got some other places, North Lake, and some other places. There's a considerable amount of water there, but it's not where you can't. It's not where it's not bank accessible around it, where you can move around the bank. And in most places, you can throw your rod, cast your rod and reel almost halfway all across those places, to where you want to get over a spot you feel like the fish, or you can experiment. I mean, you can find the fish on a place like that easier bank fishing, because they're in there, and this is as far as they can go. In here somewhere, they got to be in here somewhere. So unless it's freezing cold or lethargic, or it's super hot and they've congregated somewhere, they're not biting as much, or they're spawning. And so when you bank fish, it's wiser to fish those type of places, smaller lakes, creeks, and ponds. Certain spots on the rivers and stuff, you can move up and down. You can cast your line as far, all the way to the other side if you want. My partner, he had a rod, and he could cast that thing to one side of the lake and pull it back off the ground, back into the water. That's just, how the reel was. But places like that, a place like Lake Lewisville, and massive as it is, and the few places where you can access the bank that I've seen or found, I mean, there may be some other places. I used to fish East Hill Park over here off of Laura Lane, and but it costs you to go in there. It's like it used to be $5 a person, and $5 a card and $1 per person. And I went in there a couple of times. I had a little success down off in that one little nook or cranny. Then the next time I went, they had built some kind of jet ski thing over there. So I mean, the fishing, we fished there, me and my daughter, and we had getting no kind of activity. So that's the kind of thing. So it's best on bank fishing to stay, like I said, the creeks, ponds, the smaller lakes, bodies of water, or river, canals, something like that, man, because you're going to have more access to different areas of the water. If you go right here, because we're going down, if you go down like we were today in Lewisville, we're this guesstimation. The people that are going back down there are probably people that have caught a fish there before. Now that's understandable. If you caught a fish there before, like when I get ready to catch carp, I'm going to Carp City because I've caught numerous carp at Carp City, and I've caught a few buffalo at Carp City. So that's my go-to places. That's what I want. If I'm not going to catch me some carp today, I'm going to Carp City. I'm not going to Lake Lewisville. I'm going to Carp City. But that's probably what people are doing. They've caught a fish there, and so that's understandable. They keep going back. But we're sitting there, man, hoping and praying and and it's like all this bait in the water. It may be fishing and it may be swimming by it. I'm not an expert on that. I'm just letting you know that it was a waste of time for us to just sit there all day like that, man. And if the fish bite, some people may know that spot, may fish there frequently, they may know the patterns and where they don't start biting over here till up in the evening time. You have to be at the evening or fish at night. It's real active over there at night. But that's fine. That's when you go fishing. You know that, and everybody else does know that. So it's people who going in the morning and sitting there all through the day in the heat. Shoot, we're just wasting our time. We don't have that inside information like you do. So some people have inside information like that. I know one spot, man, I go to, man, it's like they don't bite early in the morning because I've been there early in the morning. I know that. And then a certain time of day, around 2 or 3 o'clock, it's like they wake up. So anyway, just my thoughts on bank fishing. So I'll be bank fishing. A lot of these places that I'm going to be going to are Texas parks and wildlife parks, you know, that and some of these they stock, you know, with tribe and stuff. And so they're fishable. You know, and so I'm going to be going out these places. A lot of them they're not massive like Lake Lewisville. They're down there where you can kind of access all the bank and you can cast your rod in real good distance in them and, you know, cover a lot of the creek, pond, or the lake. And so those are the kind of places I'll be going to and so catching fish. Because they're fishing there and they got to be here or there. You know, they ain't got 800 acres that they can be way on over yonder, way back here, or they may be down yonder somewhere, and we can't get through this part to get down. I'd like to fish over there, but we can't get over there. You know, you can't access it. You know, so that kind of deal. So that was my thought today on bank fishing. I'm going to post those videos so you can see Lewisville Shoreline Fishing, and if you like to go down there and fish, fine, go down there, because you might know something I don't know. You might have some skills I don't have. I had a friend tell me, hey, that's just your excuse for poor fishermanship, you know, and so that may be the case. I'm a poor fisherman. So, but anyway, you're welcome. I'm going to post that, and I always like to tell people where I am and give them directions so they know where it is in case they want to go there and fish. I don't have any spots that are personal to me that I can't share with nobody. I'm not gonna tell nobody where my favorite spot is. You know, I don't have any spots like that. As far as I'm concerned, it all belongs to God, and there's plenty of fish in the sea, in the ocean, the rivers, the lakes, the ponds, the creeks for everybody. So with that being said, that's just my thoughts on bank fishing today. And so Lewisville, like I said, Lewisville Shoreline Fishing. I will not be going back there unless I have a fish finder that tells me this is where the fish are, or I'm in a boat and fish find and this. No, so I'm not. Yeah. It was nice sitting there. The weather was nice. It was clear bank, like it's almost like sand was sand there, kind of like there'd been a beach at one time or something. It was nice, but you could see out in the water, probably like 20 yards. You could see it was shallow up to about 20 yards, as far as I could see. And so you gotta throw. You can see right there ain't no fish there. So you have to throw your rod out a good deal out, you know, out there. Now that may be in the evening, it may be different. I don't know. At certain times of the day, it may be different. I'm just giving you my perspective from today. I went this morning around 9:30, and I stayed at about one something, and I finally left. So. And I don't I'm not the type of person that keeps snatching my poles out of the water and throwing them back and stuff, because there is nowhere else to go. You know, now if I was going to move down the bank somewhere, but there's nowhere else to move to once you're in that spot, because somebody else is in this one, somebody's on that one, somebody's in that one, and there you go. There are one over there, two with me, and then that little humpy, hilly, rough terrain part is 3, and then the other right over where it's Jim on somebody's tree is 4. You know, if everybody's got one rod and reel and they're throwing directly in front of them, yeah, we probably could get 7, 8, 10, 12, 13 people along there, but that's not the case when people are fishing. So most people don't have more than one pole, 2 or 3 rods. I had 3 today. I actually have 5. Sometimes I fish with 4. Sometimes I just fish with 2, and then on occasion when I just go to explore something, I'll just take 1, you know, with me. But today I took 3. I took 2 actually, but I took the third one because I had to do some work on it, and I was going to sit down by the bank while I was fishing. I threw my rod in and just kind of fix that line because I need to redo the line on it. But anyway, and another thing, don't leave your trash. So there was trash there. I caught a fish the other day, man. I pulled it in. As soon as I pulled it in, I saw the trash right there by the thing. I'm like, man, come on, y'all. Come on, guys. You bring a bag, put your stuff in the bag, man. Bring one of them grocery sacks and just tie it on to something right there. You get through your trash, just throw it in there, man. Take it with you. Anyway, God bless you, and that's my thoughts, and be looking for the video.